Hello everyone, it's Dr. Language here, and in this video what I'm about to show you is definitely going to be helpful, and today I'll show you basically how to skim the reading paragraphs. So there are actually two methods of doing it. Method number one, look at the words and ignore the sentences. This is what we are going to do for the method number one. Here's our example paragraph. So what I'm about to do is just to look for the specific words and ignore the sentences. So I'm not going to read it thoroughly, and I'm just going to skim from up to the bottom by just concentrating on words. For example, radioactivity, tectonics, geothermal energy, and groundwater. The surface is a liquid or steam. So what I've understood so far by just looking at those words, there must be a geothermal energy, and it might be fueled by radioactivity, and it's coming out as a liquid or steam, and I've understood it just by looking at those words. So method number two, read only the first and the last sentence of a paragraph. So here we have the same paragraph again, and what I'm going to do is just to read the first and the last paragraph as sentence. Earth's internal heat fueled by radioactivity provides energy for the plate tectonics and continental drift, mountain building, and earthquakes. The water is brought to the surface as a liquid or steam through holes drilled for the purpose. So after reading it, what I've also understood in this method too is that there's an internal heat fueled by radioactivity, and it is coming out as a liquid or steam. That's what I understood in the last sentence, through holes drilled for the... Hello folks, and welcome to today's video. In today's video I am talking about the listening section of the TOEFL test. So what I want you to do before you jump on to the question part in this video is that have a blank paper and a pen and listen the podcast or actually the listening part that I found online, and then try to take notes as if you're in the exam. So make that exam environment at your place, take notes, and at the end of this video you will see my notes that I wrote down while I was listening the listening section. So that's how you can really maximize the efficiency from that video. So I hope you'll like it. Don't forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. So without further ado, let's get started.
Listen to a conversation between a student and the faculty advisor for the university newspaper.
Hi, I'm sorry to bother you, but...
Yes?
This is about the newspaper.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm only the advisor. The newspaper office is off campus on Pine Street. What was it? Did you want to work for the paper? We're always looking for writers.
Well, my problem was with the writing, actually. With an article that was published in yesterday's newspaper.
Oh, which one?
The one about the student government and its president, Sally Smith.
Is this something to do with what the editor wrote about the statue at the main entrance of the university?
Well, that's part of it. But you know, the editor used this situation to say some really unfair things about the student government and the president, Sally Smith, in particular. I think the paper should publish a retraction, or at the very least an apology to Sally.
Okay, now if I remember correctly, what you're referring to wasn't a news story, but an editorial, right? It was on the opinion page. It was signed by one of the editors and was clearly labeled as commentary.
Well, yes, but the thing about the statue, Sally made the simple comment that it was in really bad condition and should be replaced. And, well, the tone in the editorial was demeaning. It accused her of not respecting the past. And it had some personal stuff that seemed unnecessary.
Wait a minute. Remind me.
Well, you know, it implied that Sally doesn't know much about the university's history, and it called her a big city politician because she's from Boston. It's just mean-spirited, isn't it?
Haven't you heard the saying, all publicity is good publicity?
Well,
I'd say the article's bringing attention to the student government organization, which is pretty invisible. You rarely hear about what the student government's doing.
but this article...
And the piece, well, it had a bit of an exaggerated tone. It was satirical, or at least it was meant to be. It wasn't only poking fun at Sally, but the whole idea that our school is sort of rural and, not cosmopolitan.
Well, none of us thought it was very funny.
Well, sometimes it's best just to roll with it. It's just a cliche. Everybody knows it's not true.
But I thought we could expect better than that here.
Well, I'm certainly in favor of getting a variety of viewpoints. So why don't you go talk to the editor, Jennifer Hamilton, and tell her you want equal time. You or Sally can write a response.
Really? She'd let us do that? Didn't she write it?
I'll let Jennifer know you're coming. She feels the same way I do. She's a journalism major. She'd be happy to publish another point of view.
Why does the student go to the man's office?
So here it says, why does the student go to the man's office? To get some advice on an article that she's writing? No, she's not writing an article. To find out about getting a job on the student newspaper? No, they don't even talk about getting a job there. To protest the university's decision about a statue? It's not exactly for that. She's not there to protest something. To complain about an article in the student newspaper. So that seems to be the answer. Because when we look at what we wrote down, it's about an article that is published about student government. So our answer here is D.
What points does the man make about the article they are discussing?
It was the personal viewpoint of the writer. So, it was the personal viewpoint of the writer. Yeah, he stated that. Variety of viewpoints. So it was editorial viewpoint, and it was her decision to make that kind of conclusion there. It was based on research by one of the editors. No, not really. It was much more like satirical. So it wasn't something that was really serious. C, it was meant to be humorous. Yes, it was satirical, so it means it was humorous. Not many people have read it. We don't have any information about it. As you can see, I am answering it based on my notes. So when I choose it was the personal viewpoint of the writer, I see here that variety of viewpoints. So it means that it could be a personal viewpoint of the writer. So it was meant to be humorous. I also wrote it down here that it was satirical. It means it was humorous. So not directly it's stating, but still it's the same thing. If you know the meaning of satirical, or even if you don't know, but if you could be able to understand it while you listen, then you're going to know that it means it's humorous. So our answer here is C.
What is the student's opinion of the editorial's representation of Sally Smith?
She agrees it was accurate. No, she is there to complain about it, so it's not true. She believes it was not respectful. Yeah, it's sort of true, because she says that I'm looking at my notes now, and I see here that I wrote tone demeaning. The tone of the editor is demeaning, so it means it's not respectful, right? So that's why I am more prone to choose she believes it was not respectful, as I also wrote it down on my paper. She believes that the editor was referring to someone else. No. She agrees that the editorial's focus on Sally's background is relevant. No, it's totally opposite. She disagrees with it. Also, she agrees that it's irrelevant. Also, it's not accurate. So it means our answer here is she believes it was not respectful, right? It's demeaning.
What does the man imply about the university's student government organization?
Its reputation has been damaged by recent events? No. Its leaders need to be more careful about what they say in public about the university? No, we didn't really listen to something like that. It will probably benefit from what the newspaper printed about it. That's right. That's the correct answer. How did I decide that? I'm going to my notes and I see here that it is bringing attention to the student government, because normally nobody really cares about them, but when you publish something like that, it draws attention. So it means the student government organization probably benefited from it, right? Because even it brought some attention to some of the students that that girl came all over to that office to complain about it. So that's also a proof. Its communications with the public have recently become more effective. No. I mean, publishing a newspaper doesn't really mean that you're getting really better at the communication. So it doesn't really make any sense.
Listen again to part of the conversation. Then answer the question.
Okay.
So why don't you go talk to the editor, Jennifer Hamilton, and tell her you want equal time? You or Sally can write a response.
Really? She'd let us do that?
What does the woman imply when she says this?
Really? She'd let us do that?
She doesn't think that she's capable of writing the response herself. No, it's more related with the editor. No. She has already prepared a response to give to the editor. No, it just came out. She's worried that Sally is too upset to participate. No, it's not really that. I mean, she's not convinced that the editor will agree to the request. Yeah, that's why she's saying it. I mean, it's more like, are you sure she's going to be into it? It's the reaction really. What I understood based on the reaction is that she's not convinced that the editor will agree to the request, right? That's why she will right after it, while we're listening, I also wrote it down, he will let her know that she's going to be there. After this, after she's giving a reaction like that, man says that, oh, don't worry, I will let her know that you are coming. So that's why, I mean, we understand that she wasn't convinced. And then that's why man says, don't worry, I will let her know that you are coming. So D is our answer. Alright guys, it was the end of the video. I hope you liked it. And let me know if you'd like to see some more listening videos that are related with TOEFL listening part. It was it's the first video of 2018. I hope you'll achieve your dreams, your goals during this year. So that's it for today. Do not forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. Bye for now.